Okay, in the CTSC team of the century, it's time to select some wingers. We need some tries in this team. So, Graham, if you want to fire away your six-man shortlist, and there's going to be some absolute crackers in this, I'm sure. Who are your wingers? Who is your shortlist of wingers for the CTSC team of the century?
Well, Ross, you hit the nail on the head there. There is some real try scorers among this. And I'm going to kick it off with going back to the 1930s, and I'm picking Bernard Cunliffe. Bernard played from 1933 to 1946, 184 appearances and 89 tries, amassing 267 points. Um, Next one on the list, we've come a big gap, a real big gap, because the next one I'm picking is Keith Howe. So Keith joined Cass in 1962 and stayed with the club until 1970. Made 167 appearances and scored 109 tries, including 34 league tries in the 1966-67 season, who were joint top try scorer that season. Um, he also scored at Wembley in 1969 as well, and a couple of Floodlit Trophy winners under his belt. Um, Interesting fact on Keith. He was awarded Tiger of the Year in 2017 by Castleford Players Association in recognition of his services to club. Next on the list is Alan Lowndes. Alan joined club in 1968 and stayed until 1977. 201 games and 83 tries. Again, winner of two Challenge Cup winners at medals in 1970 he scored the only try of the game as we beat Wigan. Really strong runner who we signed from Rugby Union. He'd played, he'd represented Yorkshire at Rugby Union, also represented Yorkshire in Rugby League, and actually had trials for England as a Rugby Union player. Again, little bit of a gap, and no short list of wingers could not, couldn't include this guy, Singe. What a man, what a player. Joined us in 1989 until 1994. 173 appearances plus two subs, 97 tries, 17 goals, total of 422 points, and then famously a member of that 1994 Regal Trophy winning side when he racked up like 40 tries outside Richie Blackmore that season. It was just something special. 40 tries from 41 games that season.
Takes some doing,
Incredible,
doesn't
isn't it? Um, Again, we're coming right up to the modern, or or even more modern than Singe. This will be a popular one.
it?
I've gone with Dennis Salamona.
Can't not though, can you?
No, two two seasons with us, 45 appearances and 60 tries.
I mean, what can you say?
you, you cannot not have him in the shortlist. We signed him from London Broncos, and he'd been a product at under 20s at Melbourne. Um, Incredible try scoring record. It just was. And broke the Super League record that Leslie Viner-Kohler had held for 12 years in 2016. Obviously, it ended sourly, but incredible pace. And if he picked a loose ball up with a bit of space, it was try time.
Absolutely. I've not seen many athletes like that in a cash shirt, that's for sure. He was something pretty special at you.
Yeah. First time I saw him, I think we'd just announced that we'd signed him. Uh,
Mm,
we played London, and quick tap, Luke Dawn broke, and he turned, chased Darney down, and nearly stopped him from scoring in front of Weldon Road End. Me and my mate stood there, and we just looked at each other and went, "Wow."
that's quick.
Yeah. And then last one on shortlist, um, Greg Eden. Probably not the greatest winger that we've ever had, but a freakishly, incredible try scoring record. Um, he started his career with us, making three appearances in 2011. and then went on when he returned in 2017 to make a further 119 appearances, scoring 111 tries. Again, what a ratio that is. Obviously, had a dream spell playing outside Shenny, and that left
Mm.
edge of Gale, Holmes, Shenton, Eden would just, well, he just scored tries for fun, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And what a short list this is, by the way, as there are going to be for all of them, I'm sure. Think about Greg as well, just to point out before we actually go take our pick. Obviously, didn't quite get a try every game in the end, but you forget how many games he didn't play on the wing as well. So
Yeah,
he played it six a few times,
yeah,
ridiculously.
that's it. If
So
you think, he played at six a few times, played at fullback. If you think the 2017 season, he scored 38 Super League tries, including five hat tricks. In all, in that season, he scored 41 tries from 31 games.
absolutely ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. As I hoped there would be in this list, and the sure is some absolute try scoring machines. But who are your two picks? It's going to be difficult from that short list of six. Some absolute legends in there. But it's the team of the century. You've got to get the cream of the crop. Who are the two wingers you've gone from for that six?
So I've gone for Bernard Cunliffe and St. John Ellis. Um, it's a team I'm picking, so I can be a little bit selfish.
Of course you can. Sure team.
Bernard's my great uncle, or Bernard was my great uncle.
Oh, I don't know about that actually.
Um,
That's a bit of a fix, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. So he gets a shirt. But when you consider his try scoring record, he actually made his debut at Cass for Cassing as a 16-year-old. Went on to play for Yorkshire, made four appearances for Yorkshire, one for England and one for Great Britain in a Test match against Australia. Obviously joined up and went in forces, became a captain. And then sadly, as I say, the family connection. Sadly, he died on 8th of January 2000, which is just 10 days before my son were born. And his wife Oriel contacted my mum and said, you're going to have a boy now because we've just made room for him to come in. And
That's beautiful.
that's just I don't know what to say. I'm filling up here as I say it. Um, and then the others, as I say, on the other wing, I've gone for St. John Ellis. Um, you know, it was one of them players that the crowd got to the feet when ball went his way. He was a prolific try scorer. He, you know, his his record says it 97 tries from 173 games. He kicked a few goals as well, and he didn't mind being in thick at action.
Mm.
Um, he could, if there were a bit of a scuffle in midfield, he could get there quicker than some people that were outside of it. Um, but he was a sort of player that brought the crowd to the feet, as I say, and no more so than that day when we beat him, Wigan at Regal Trophy, and he jumped into the crowd more or less, getting everybody up singing and shouting and dancing. Um, Lots of tales of him taking over that night. Took over the DJ box in Legends, and set top DJ to do one. It was his turn tonight, and it's a true story because I was in there that night. Um, and there's, as I say, just so many stories, larger than life character, and again, someone who sadly passed away way too young. Um, I was at Freeport, and somebody rang me and said, have you heard it? Have you heard? Is it right about Singe?" And I went, "No, what you on about?" And he'd collapsed and were pronounced dead at hospital on New Year's Eve 2005, which, yeah, I think it shook everybody as Cas fans. Because he was super fit. He was super fit, and you just never would have guessed that was going to happen.
Yeah, true tragedy that one, and I think fitting that he's in this team. On both wingers, in fact, both very very fitting to be in this team. I think very well told. Thank you, Graham, as well. That was spot on. Putting them both two in this team of the century. So what a start it is. We've got our fullback and we've got our two wingers.